So, welcome everyone to the Brave Zebra Talks. Today we have with us Julie Bjørnskov. I hope I said that correctly.
Yeah.
We met in Gamescom 2025 over Germany, and there she showed us her beautiful game, Escape the Baby Alarm. Could you, Julie, please make like a brief summary, a pitch of what your game is about?
Yeah, it's a game, it's a casual game, it's a puzzle game about being a parent and with all of the chaos and love that is in that topic. And then it's a combination of like an escape room puzzle game and then a narrative-driven game, like a comic.
It's an interesting like mismatch of concepts and genres. I mean, you showed us a little bit of your videos at demo, and we were super hooked into it. And we can, I mean, at the moment it's still in development, but we can't help to wonder how it's going to look at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start, Julie, like going back to memory lane a bit. I would like to know more or less what drew you to video games creatively, because you do not come from a video game background or technical background itself, right? Could you talk us a bit about that transition into games, what brought you into them?
It's a kind of a funny story because I have studied interactive design and I have always had my own one-man company where I do animation and illustration and stuff like that, but mainly for other customers. And I have some of my own stuff, but a lot of like freelancing and stuff like that. And then I got 2 kids and went on maternity leave, and that was also the COVID in between. So I think I was almost away for like 4 years in that period. It feels like that at least. And then I have to like start my company again, and it was kind of different time, and it was like hard to get assignments and to find my customers again because I've been away for so long time. And I've also changed myself because I'm like a mother and a new person kind of way. And then I received my husband have ordered this Playdate, the small yellow console. And we got this one, and I just thought, okay, it could be nice to make a game for it. And I have no experience with making a game, but I just thought, okay, I can do this. And yeah, then we just started when the kids were asleep at night, and we just, me and my husband, started to make this game, Escape the Arcade. And it was a really nice period for me to like reconnect with my creativity, and for me and my husband to do something together that was not like changing diapers or something like that.
Definitely, because you do come from a background of motion design and interactive design. How do you think that like those experiences, those skills were implemented, or how you translated them into the video game realm? How do you could like transform those abilities you have,
Yeah, I think I really like that I have like this design background because I know how to make things look good, and I just know how to draw, and I also know how to like tell stories. And I have always like enjoyed these interactive elements. So for me, it's just like, okay, I could put all my skills together. I also have written a lot of music, so I could just combine all of my skills, and then I just need to make this puzzle. And I really love math and escape rooms, so it was just nice to come up with some creative puzzles. Also because I'm not from a game industry background, so I do it differently, and I think people enjoy that because it's a new way to think. Like it's more creative than like just okay, you have to do this and this and this, like the classic game experience.
Definitely. And if we're talking about creativity and different experiences, I think for sure what you were touching on earlier about the Playdate console, which is a super niche console. I mean, it has a big community, but it's not like a mainstream method to get into the games for sure. So I would like to know, like, how do you find development for that console? Like, because I guess it also has some interesting perks, but it also has some limitations. How do you think that also influenced you into now transition into PC games with Escape the Baby Alarm?
Yeah, I think for me it was really like a safe environment. It's so small, and there's not many developers, and there's a really open Discord, so we can just ask there for help, and people are really supporting. And so it's really nice, like when we put the game out there, people just saw it immediately, because there's not that many games, and there's more now, but at that time there was not that many. So it was really nice, just you're an unknown person, you just put your game out there and people just are really supporting and just think it's a cool game. And and they were just like writing articles about it and making it in podcast and stuff like that. So
So you started also like building a community through the Playdate kind of base of players?
Yeah, there's really good community in like the Playdate environment. And we help each other. And Escape the Arcade is also, it's built on a framework which one of the other developer made. So it helped a lot, like starting this project, because you don't have to start from scratch. I used like this framework, like a comic framework, and then I just added all the gameplay element into it.
That's super intelligent to kind of get off workload that you would not be the one to maybe start doing something from scratch, but if you have like this base, you can kind of pour your creativity into it. I think that's super interesting.
Because I'm not a developer in that that term. So for me, just when people do work and it's open source, I'm just happy, because then I don't have to do everything from scratch, and I don't want to build my own game engine or stuff like that. I love when Go games and stuff.
Like ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to the. I mean, at least for us, when we were at Gamescom, what immediately caught our eyes was like the art style of the game. It's like cartoonish, graphic, motion design, but also hand-drawn animation, and I don't know if the word is surreal, but for us it had that unique aspect, like really author-like style, in that sense. So I would like to know more or less, I mean, I'm sure it comes from your background and everything, but what are your references when it comes to this art style? What kind of non-game inspirations also brought you to this kind of visual representation,
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of different things. I think when I was a child, I loved like big artists like Dali and Satie and these kind of like the surrealism. I just loved it, because it's like you're telling a story, and it's a lot of like about your subconscious. Like, okay, it's the thing that's happening inside your mind you can see in the real world, and the combination. And later on, it's like a lot of animation, like Miyazaki and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just a combination of a lot of different
now that you
things.
said, I mean, I did not make that connection, but for sure, like some of the organicity and kind of slime-like reactions that Miyazaki has on I think that's something that I can see in your work also.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, there's also kind of I know I asked you about this during Gamescom. This is a double-edged sword in a sense, because especially in video games, when we think about mainstream video games, there are a lot of common ground rules, if you call, like, a UI is placed on top right, and interaction is, yellow paint, all this kind of common knowledge that we have built with players. And I saw your gaming, and it kind of escapes that in a different way. So how do you balance, having this really polished art style, but at the same time being able to convey your designs and the interactions with the player?
Can you ask that one more time?
No, not an issue. I mean, as your art style is like really graphic, sometimes, at least for me, the first impression that I got, it was like, oh, I don't know exactly where I'm supposed to click, which I think is also part of the fun of it, like discovering how to interact with the system. So I was kind of curious about how do you balance, the art style with the design, so it's kind of also intuitive to players to kind of interact with the game.
Yeah, I think it's one of the difficult things, because my art style is so flat, so it's like not there's not a button that does pop up, and I don't use shadow drop or something like that. So for me, it's like it's a kind that you have to be curious and see what things you can click on, but also still like try to guide. So I have tried to implement that the things you can click or move a bit, or it's obvious it's the same kind of button. So I will teach the players where to click. But a lot of like the process is also that you just need to try to do something and see what's happening.
So you're kind of like trying to build like a visual language of your own during the game, right? Like trying to realize it at first so players can more or less understand it.
And I think also the process in the beginning, they can feel a kind of hard or difficult, but then later on when you get into the logic, people often find it's easier because, okay, I know to put my mind right.
Yeah. But also, I mean, I think what you just said goes back to the escape. Like after all, this is inspired by escape rooms or escape like experiences. What else did you put into the game that is reminiscent of those experiences, or did you just go to a bunch of different escape rooms to kind of get inspiration about the game? Or
yeah, it's kind of funny because often you will play other games and then you will copy some from that. But for me, when I come up with the puzzles, it's often at night when I put my kids to bed, and I'm just lying in this dark room and singing like a song on repeat, and I'm just thinking of different stuff, just to not fall asleep or just to not get so bored. And then I come up with all these puzzles. So I'm not like inspired about. Of course, I'm inspired about things, but I don't look at things and then just copy something. I just try to figure out, okay, I have this feeling, how can this be a puzzle? And I just, in my head, like imagine, okay, how would it be fun to solve this? Yeah.
That's super interesting. I mean, I know that's something that I'm reading about a lot lately. The importance of boredom or so-called boredom, like having like time in your brain to kind of lay down a bit and kind of recover from all the stress that we go through. And I know, I mean, I remember when I was back in my college day, I used to take a lot of bus rides, and during those bus rides, especially like raining and all that stuff, I just went a lot of places and my creativity kind of sparked. So it's so funny that to you that kind of is a response or a consequence to also motherhood, right? Like in that case, that you're just taking care of your child, and doing that also that sparks your creativity. That's so fun.
Yeah, I think it's really good for you because you have your phone with you all the time and all these there's also things all the time, and it's just really nice just to be bored and just take your time to see what comes up.
Definitely,
so
definitely.
yeah.
And now that you're touching on that topic, I mean, the phones, the ever-present cell phone with their distractions and promises, like I think that also kind of, I mean, I don't think it's one-on-one related, but sometimes it feels like it's so easy to kind of lose focus and lose track of what you want to do, and especially if you're doing things by your own, you just want to make it by your own, and you are the only boss and the only employee in that case. So how do you do that basically as a solo developer? Like, do you have your own milestones, or do you just go by the flow with impulses? Like, because for me, that would be like a huge challenge.
Yeah, it's kind of a combination. I've always had my own one-man company, so I'm kind of used to it. But I also have like a lot of discipline. When I was kids, I played classical piano a lot, and I have a teacher from Mexico, and he was really like, you have to do this, and you have to like practice. And he was kind of strict, but also really kind. And I think he helped me to like set some goals and just finish them, if you know what I mean. So we just have to practice this side, and then when I came to practice a week later, I just always like have reached the goal. And I think for me, it's kind of the same thing I use now. I set some goals, and then I just have to reach them. It's kind of like a strength and also a weakness, because when I came with an idea, and when I give it too much thought and I think, okay, this is a good idea, I always like finish the idea. I have to do it kind of way.
Okay.
So I always finish the stuff I set myself up to, but sometimes it can be a lot, and sometimes it's maybe not worth the time. But
And
I
how do you feel
think,
like, because I know in this creative process, I mean, for me also happens when you start like developing an idea, suddenly you had, I mean, you start like just exploring and you have fun thinking about the idea, then you kind of need to put it on paper and kind of scope it. But in that exercise, at least for me, there's like, oh, but it's also like this great idea or this year's idea or this something I could do. Like, how do you manage that creative noise that comes into your head and kind of be set as like on your goals?
yeah, I think something about being a parent is good for that task, because like when you're away from your kids, like the time you spend have to be really important. So for me, it's kind of clear now, okay, if I will just always argue, okay, is this idea worth being away from my kids? Do you know, if you know what I mean? So it's kind of easy to choose, okay, this is a really, really good idea. I have to go with it. Is worth the time. And so all this stuff that's just, okay, I could do this, I could do this, but is it important? And maybe it's not. And then I'll just forget about them or write them down and come back to them later. Yeah.
Go back for the future games in the series.
Yeah, for future games. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is so interesting, and I also saw that on Gamescom after we followed each other and everything. You also are putting a lot of effort into putting your work out there, right? And I guess this also goes back to your earlier times as a self-employed and everything. But you have been doing a lot of devlogs and like videos about your journey. Like how did you come into that? Like what's the idea behind it? How has it proved?
Yeah, it's also one of these ideas. I was just, okay, if I just start it, I will never stop it. So I just, okay, I decided, okay, I will make a devlog and I will post for 100 works day was the number in my mind.
Okay.
And then I can't stop before I reach 100 at least. And I don't know if it's a good or bad idea, but I can see it kind of makes sense to do it. It's not that I get many likes or many views, maybe for the videos, but like people in my network know what I'm doing. Like when I'm at a family dinner, just everyone knows what I'm doing, and my kids, the other kids from the kindergarten's parents, they know what I'm doing. So everyone, like here in Denmark at least, know what I'm doing.
That's great. No, especially because I mean,
Yeah.
game development is something that takes a huge load of work, and I think especially for people that are not inside the environment or the industry, it's like, oh yeah, a video game, but they are not aware of all the process, all the different tasks that you have to do, all the different multifaceted disciplines that you have to kind of manage. So I think it's really interesting that you're putting that out there also to make your work feel valuable, right? In that sense.
Yeah. Because I use really a lot of time to making this game. So it was nice for people like to see, okay, it's not just something you make in a week. It's something you use a year of making. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I think it just got to me what you said about after you start a family and after you become a parent, the time that you have away of your kids is super important. So you have to be really mindful about it. So I think in that case, at least talking to you seems like motherhood or parenthood is something that is also like really defining to your game development journey in that sense. So I would like to know a bit how you take it like philosophically, that balance of being a parent, being in the game, which I think in that case, like you work on your own, you work at home, so I think it's easier to balance and stuff, but how do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's something I really have thought a lot about, because it's really a hard balance, like the family and the work. But I'm just really happy I got to work with something I really love to do, and it makes it way easier. Also, I have 2 daughters myself, and I really hope to like inspire them to like follow their dreams. And like there's not a lot of women in the gaming industry and not a lot of mothers. Yeah. So for me it's really nice. Okay, I'm doing something for them also. It's not only for me. Of course this game is for me, but it's also, I hope it's something they could be proud of. And it's always cool to have like a parent that a game developer. My oldest one just started in school.
This is like maybe the biggest topic that I would like to talk to you about, because I mean we can let into it, but like, I think this game basically, if I'm correct, if I've read everything, if I documented myself correctly, talks about what we said, like motherhood, becoming a parent, how that affects like also you internally, like your feelings, you know, the feel of risk, the feeling of proudness, the feeling of, I don't know, there must be like, I'm not a parent myself, but I guess that it's such transformatory experience in a sense. So I would like to know a bit like where did the spark to talk about these topics come from, especially taking the consideration that this is like a part of a serious game, because you also did something similar with Escape the Arcade. So how do you say, okay, now I think it's the time to talk about motherhood and to convey all these feelings that I have, you know?
Yeah, I think I have made 4 games for Playdate, and I need to like move from the Playdate and do something bigger. And that was the first like thought about that, and I will just go for Steam. It was like an obvious next choice. And then I thought, okay, if this is going to be like a bigger game, of course, because it's for PC and mobile. So I also want to make something really personal and just put myself out there. There's just not making like the same game once again, but making something that really means a lot to me. And I've been to a lot of like game events in Denmark, and there's not many women, and there's not many mothers as well. So I thought, okay, maybe I'm in Denmark, I'm one of the only person that can make this game about being a parent. And so it was, okay, it's really, I have so many thoughts about it, and I have so much on heart to tell about this topic. So I thought, okay, I will I will try to.
I will pursue that. Yeah, because that's really fun, because I mean, video games, especially in the mainstream kind of scene, they do not touch on that at all. I mean, there's Parenthood, you know, God of War, the latest game or stuff like that, but I don't think it's the same experience that you are feeling. So, I don't know, motherhood, caregiving also is something that's also often underrepresented. And I want to know, how do you feel about that, you know, being the one putting that onto the world and seeing like, how is this going to be received in a sense? Because I feel like you have also a community that might be interested in that, but I guess there's also like this feeling of you of, oh, is this going to be like well received? Is it not, you know?
Yeah, of course. And it's not easy to make something for parent because they are so busy all the time. But I hope like people that are not parents will play it as well, because it's a fun game and it's have a lot of all of these topics. It just like have the puzzles and stuff like that, and the story is good, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of teenage movies and games about teenagers, because they're developing from a kid to an adult. And I think it's the same experience you go through when you become a parent. You change as much, I think, as a child from a parent, so from an adult to a parent. So there's so many. I think I've changed a lot, and it's like finding your new identity and stuff like that, which is like something everyone is interested in, because you start from scratch one when you got this baby and the responsibility, and you have to learn everything. So it's a kind of like a progression from a game, like we really start at level 0 and just have to move into like all these kind of funny situations you are into when you're a parent. There's a lot of like gamification in this, actually. Like
I mean,
you're
I guess
balancing.
translate all of those. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest, strongest points of video games, the fact that, you know, interaction kind of allows us to do this metaphoric kind of translation of feelings of human beings and stuff. So I love when video games kind of delve into, you know, pushing the boundaries a bit. So I also wanted to know, like, what kind of exercises, what kinds of translations can you do from that, like, really abstract concept that can be, I don't know, like worrying about your child, and also like the self-transformation. How did you translate those into actual, you know, pixels on a screen, basically?
Yeah, I posted one video from not long time ago, where you have you're looking in the mirror and you're just clicking at yourself, and the mirror will break.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's kind of how I interact some of this, like, okay, you kind of break the person you were before, and now you are trying to get a new identity as a mom, and it's some of these elements I use, and then you have to like find achievements or find small objects and like rebuild yourself from new. So try to like put these gaming element into it. And yeah, there's also like some more basic like cleaning elements, like your baby is making a lot of mess and you have to do something like that, a lot of sorting or stuff like that. Yeah.
No, but that's interesting if you're able to kind of balance those kind of metaphoric game mechanics with also the low level puzzling. So as we said earlier, you can have like peaks and valleys of, you know, this kind of emotional kind of translation. I think that's super, super powerful. Yeah. And when it comes to developing this game, also like talking to you, I can see this like a super personal game, super like close to home topic. Like, have you ever had like worries about how personal I am being? Like this is maybe too autobiographical or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, do you try to, of course, like I think your experience in this sense is like the biggest, most powerful, unique selling point if we want to talk about market, but it's like the strongest suit of the game. Like, but maybe you also sometimes are like, okay, this might be too much. I need to kind of detach myself from this, you know?
Yeah, of course. And that's also why I put a lot of humor into it. And it's gonna be like a really funny game because I don't want it to be like a too sentimental journey. It should be like really fun, and there's a lot of fun characters. Like the whole game is about being trapped inside the baby monitor and have to escape from that. So it's suddenly not something I have tried at least, but
that's
yeah,
super fun concept. Okay, so that also goes like with the same concept of Skip the Arcade and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you become this tiny person inside like an Alice in Wonderland kind of bit.
No, I think that's super clever because I think humor is one of the strongest tools that we have as humans to kind of connect with each other, right? So the fact that you're able to kind of balance that with also the heavy topics about self-transformation is super, super.
Yeah. Also because a lot of these situations, when you are in them with your baby, it just feel awful. But when you're telling about it later, it's often really funny because you're standing in like in the supermarket and just panicking about something and everything's go wrong. And when you're in it, it's just feel awful. But when you come home and telling about it, it's just okay. That was not that bad, and it was kind of funny this happening, and that was
no. But I think that's a super interesting point because I think especially with, as I said, I'm not a parent myself, but I think every parent has this that is such a universal kind of topic or universal experience, but it seems like there's like a not a shared experience, and sometimes you as a parent find things that maybe you think you're like going crazy, but it's like, okay, we all went through that, you know? So it's super important to also have your game for people that maybe were parents or are about to be parents that, okay, so I might be feeling that in the future.
Yeah.
You
know? Yeah. Sometimes you can be so worried about like a red dots on their skin or something like that, and you can just, it's everything, and the world, like no calls can like reach you, and you're just like, I'm so focused on this, and like next day just okay, maybe have it a bit too warm, and it wasn't. But like for you, it's just like the world is burning, and it's the only
like
thing that matters.
Into that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's
Okay.
kind of
That's so interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's now try to pivot back because I just heard that you got funding from the Danish Institute of Video Games, which is great. Like, congratulations. Can you tell us a bit about what that means in terms of your process, production, like what this means for the future of the game?
Yeah, it really means a lot. I just started wanted to do this like a solo development, and now I got this funding for the whole production of the game. So it means that I can hire some people to help me here and there with the different parts of it. And it also meant that I can use the next 9 months just to focus on this game. And it's really lovely.
No, but also like I guess even as you said, like you're trying to move a lot around the Danish scene, also to be recognized like as a I mean, I don't want to put these words in your mouth, but as a promising and developer, I think that has to be like super proud about that, right?
Mm. Yeah, it's really nice.
So with that out of the way, there's like a promising future for Escape the Evil Arm, and what does that mean to the whole series of Escape the? Are you thinking about the next game? Have you planned about any other topics that you would like to touch on in the future?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet, but I'm definitely planning to do more games like this game. But it's also nice for me just to see how it will be received and see how it goes with this game. But I would love to like make another games. But I think like this game is a really personal story about being a parent. But the next game I think will be a bit broader, like the other games, Escape the Arcade and Escape the Board Game. But this is like, it's kind of a story I just need to focus on and to get out, and then from that I can move on. Just
Yeah. And let like life permeate you again, right? Basically.
yeah.
Yeah. So when thinking about them, and I don't know if you're thinking about the series as a whole, like with, projecting into the future or anything, but what would you expect that players get out of this shared experience of different games, Like what kind of feelings do you want to provoke into players?
Um, yeah. Yeah, I hope people will start to playing it because it looks cool and it looks funny. And then I hope when they just started to playing, they will like kind of get this, like seeing a really good movie, like you're going through this journey and you going through a lot of emotion and you became a new person in the end of it, like this good stories. But you have to interact instead. So you're making like this game. And I hope like all this puzzle is really fun to solve. As also it's like, I know it's stressful to be a parent, but I hope people have like a relaxing time doing this. Yeah, because the puzzle is, there's no like time pressure. Like typical with escape rooms, that like, okay, a time pressure and you have to do it fast and you die if you don't came out. But this is like a kind of another escape room. It's like more relaxing and you just need to have fun and solve things in your own pace and have a good time. Yeah.
Let's hope for that. I mean, I'm eager to get to play a demo or something when you have it available. I would love to try it out.
Nice.
And I just want to now we're or reaching the end. I would like to maybe go a bit lighter in the topics. I would like if you could share like I don't know an anecdote related to the development of Escape the People, maybe a funny moment or a really rewarding moment, something that you're proud of. If you can think about something similar to that,
Okay.
Because I guess like you work. I'm not sure if you work at home or if you go anywhere else, but also if you're trying to develop at the same time you're being a parent, like how does that interact? Or I'm sure there are a lot of funny like interactions regarding that.
Yeah. I'm actually a part of an office space here in Aarhus where we are a lot of different solo developments or small companies. So I talk to a lot of game developer every day. So it's it's really great for me just to come out and see other people.
Yeah.
But something funny is.
No, I don't want to put you on the spot either, but I just wanted to know if you had something on top of your head.
Yeah, maybe some. Give me 1 minute. I will just. Yeah, I think for me, it's a lot of the funny thing is like my kids inspire me a lot. So everything they do, it's somehow come into the game. So when we have like a really funny situation at home or discuss something funny, it's just it translates into the game. Like with this Escape the Arcade, there's like there's this puzzle with the pyramids and a lot of dinosaurs because like my kids were so into dino, so it just have to be everywhere, even though it's not fit in. So they're just in there. So I think with this game as well, there's a lot of like hidden objects. So you only know if you know me. Like there's my kids inspire me a lot and help me with some of the crazy drawings and stuff.
Yeah, that's super beautiful. That's so beautiful. Okay, now and just to close, the last question, or I mean, it's not exactly a question, but I think it's super interesting, as we said earlier, like that you're mainly a solo developer, even though you might have like some external helps or collaborators. What would you say? Which kind of piece of advice from your experience could you like tell to other solo developers that might be especially touching on personal or unconventional topics for their games?
For me, it's like to make a game that is that you can manage. So I don't want to like, I know what I'm good at. I'm good at drawing and making this puzzle animation. So I don't make a very technical game. I could make like a 3D modelation of being a parent, and you have to move around and do a lot of crazy things. So I'm just okay. I know I'm good at 2D and I'm good at making puzzles. So I make a game that it's doable for me at least. So you like know yourself and your skills and try to
your strengths, right? After all.
Yeah, of course. And then use a topic that is important for you and you have a lot to tell about, because I think people will see if it's something that comes from heart that you're really interested in. And it don't have to be like be a mother, but it could be like if you're really into something else. If you know a lot about rocks or something, music, so put all of this. And I think it's okay to be a bit personal I think when you make like art or games, I think it's important that people like notice you as a person and that you have put something of yourself into the game. I think people can feel it, especially in these AI times.
That's a whole other discussion that I don't even want to touch on because we could be like
no.
hours. Okay, so Julie, that was it. Like super nice talking to you. I would like to know where people can find you, maybe on Instagram, LinkedIn, or even the game. Like, is the game available on Steam to wishlist at the moment?
Yeah, it is.
Perfect.
I can just send you a lot of links.
Nice. So for the rest of you, this has been Julie Bjørnskov talking about Escape the Baby Alarm, and feel free to reach to us on LinkedIn also, or at our website www.babezebra.com. Okay, see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.